Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Public Works Committee meeting, Friday, July 18th, 2024, Parkdale Room, Charlottetown City Hall. Order of business. Call the meeting to order. Item 2, declarations of conflict of interest. Okay. Item 3, approval of agenda.
Moved. Just under that, Mr. Chair, under introduction of new business, you want me to bring it up then? It's just to get some information on speed humps. You want to leave it under introduction? I'll bring it up under the introduction of new business.
I don't think we have a report.
No, it's just notification, not to get information, just notification.
So we have approval of the agenda. Passed. Adoption of the minutes.
Moved.
Okay. Business arising from the minutes.
Just page 3, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Sure. Rec Hall, Cody Lane, Serena. And then paragraphs updating the vacant structures in Maple Avenue and Spencer Drive. That's on page 3 also. On the digital, so we've run yours.
Okay, go ahead.
So at a finance meeting just this past week, we discussed the removal of them. Does that have to go through this committee?
What?
Those 3 buildings, 2 on.
Why would that go to finance?
Well, it's
That's Public Works, isn't it?
It was a real estate matter.
It's a real estate matter because it went to tender. It went to tender, correct, Richard?
We put out a request for bids to have them removed last year and we received no responses. Then a party came forward with an opportunity or a proposal to remove them at no cost to the city and they would maintain, they would have the buildings. But it's a real estate matter, the city disposing of real estate, so going through finance. It could also come through Public Works, kind of related to the buildings in the road, but really it's Finance Committee's responsibility when it's a real estate matter.
And the buildings on the road are the extension of Spencer Drive. There are 2 buildings there that have to be removed. And then there's a building that has to be removed on Maple Avenue, the Deuce Head property.
Correct.
To allow for any expansion to the hall, the rec hall, or many future developments.
So Chair, can I ask a question? So are you proposing that there is someone has come forward with an offer to remove the 3 properties, and as a result of moving them, that the city would essentially gift those properties to as part of that?
The structures.
The alternative,
Not the property, sorry, I meant the buildings, obviously. Those buildings.
that was the proposal.
And have we accept? I think that should come through this committee to determine whether or not council would approve of that.
Well, in the end, it will go to all of council for a decision, but a real estate matter, and we kind of looked at whether it needed to go through Public Works or Finance, but in the end, Finance Committee makes the recommendations with respect to real property.
So have we put those properties up for sale with the
Yes, in
with the
2020.
caveat that they have to be removed, and we had no success? Have we done it again since then?
No.
Good deal for someone to move 3 properties, or 3 homes.
So, Mr. Chair, in the report, I think these discussions started back in March of this year. And as I said, I've been asking at this committee, where are we going with it? But then we found out at finance that there is I don't know if a developer, it's called Andrews Pond Estates, that will be removing them.
So they're moving the adjacent property, which is partly why they approached us about moving the other 2 on Mount Edward Road.
Is there any appetite to donate the property, the buildings to Habitat?
We tried to have it, we did speak to Habitat for Humanity.
part of why it took us a while to bring it forward, looking for other opportunities. In the end, this is the best opportunity that we have, and we understand that council's looking to have these properties moved. And the company is there set up to move the other one now, so they're also interested.
Isn't one of them already up on,
That's the but that's not our property. That's the property adjacent to two structures we own on Marinwood Road. So I just wanted to find out, it's just a financial matter because it's real estate, it went to finance first. And just want to make sure.
So Richard, can you just outline what the options were and how they were explored?
So we put a request out to the public that we had these 3 buildings offering that they needed to be removed from the sites, and we received no responses to that opportunity. And we were then looking at, we would have the cost of having to remove them and dispose of the properties. And then again, the contractor that is working on the property adjacent to the 2 on Mount Edward Road, they had looked at it, but they didn't respond to it. Then they approached us with the proposal to remove them at no cost to the city.
Was there an option looked at where the city owns land that we could move those houses to city property, fix them up and then put them up for sale? Maybe there's some young families or folks that are looking for affordable housing. Be a great starter home for some young families looking to get started in our community. Was that explored?
We didn't really look at it from the city taking ownership of that. We put it out to the public and we approached some not-for-profit charities to see if they were interested in the buildings or not, and they were
And
not.
they weren't.
So it's Andrews Pond Estates Inc.
Who's Andrews Pond Estates Inc.? Who are they?
Dan Mullen.
Who?
Dan Mullen.
So if it's being addressed in finance, then what? I thought it was public works, but you're saying it's finance.
Well, no.
So,
It came to finance, Mr. Chair. I'm just brought it up here because I brought it up at the last meeting of this standing committee. That's how I'm just addressed it.
okay,
That's,
Mr. McKeown, can you help us with the process, sir?
So again, we took it to the finance committee this week. Finance committee asked for more information. That information has been gathered, will be presented, if it hasn't already, to finance today, and a request for a special meeting on Monday, trying to get it before council where the decision will be made on Tuesday.
Is that brought in through finance?
Yes. Yeah, we met it.
Okay, no, I'm just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand
Yeah.
what the process, because the mayor's bringing it up here.
yeah, because I brought it up at the last meeting.
Yeah, I
I've
know,
been
but it
bringing it
was,
up.
you're also a member of the finance
And I
committee.
brought it up there. I said, where,
Okay.
what laneway are we in?
All right, so it's coming from finance.
Yes.
Any other business arising from the minutes?
No.
Okay. We'll move into our agenda items. A bronze memorial statue restoration. Our manager?
You. So we have gone out to tender to restore the bronze memorial statue down on.
I'm sorry, Albert, can you speak a little louder, please?
Sure, no problem. So Public Works put out a tender to do some restoration to the bronze memorial statue on Great George Street. In conjunction with Economic Tourism and the Cultural Department. There's kind of a Part A and a Part B that you will see in these resolutions. The first one is for the restoration of the bronze, and the second is for the restoration of the granite piece. So looking at the first tender, RFP was issued June 19th, closed on July 9th. We had 3 total proposals, and after staff reviewed and scored, we are recommending that the proposal submitted by Heritage Grade be granted by council, and we believe that they are a qualified bidder and will have the project done and completed before the date of October 11th, which is well in advance of Remembrance Day. Something else to note is that the allocated budget for this was $125,000. 25 thousand of which is partner funding. So that's the first resolution. If council has any questions or committee has any questions on that, then I'll do my best to answer. We also have Doug here from Economic and Tourism who will have some maybe more clear answers on the detailed aspects of this work.
Councillor McCarthy.
Just have a question. So regarding package A, which I understood to just be the cleaning of the bronze component of it, there's a huge discrepancy between these bidders, primarily even with Heritage Grade and Atwell Moran. Is there, and then with the Age of Bronze being the other company. So the obvious question here is, you know, the low bid is, you know, is that something that, you know, are we getting good value for that low bid compared to the other? The other was like, you know, 6 times higher in price. So I'm just curious as to how did one bid come in at $23,000, another come in at $189,000?
Yeah, it's a good question. We did review it and there is a technical and a financial score for this work. I don't think we expected to see such a big discrepancy in the prices for work like this. But again, in my experience, I haven't done too much work or tenders on jobs like this, but I think that for what we had in the scope and from our review, and we did have a third party person look at these bids as well, and after reviewing their proposals, we don't think that there is any concerns about the different quality in these groups.
Okay, well, I guess that's answers my question. You obviously did some further due diligence to ensure that Heritage Grade is capable of doing it. And again, I go back to a little bit too. The original budget of this is 125, so somebody thought internally that, you know, it could range up to that high. So 23 seemed quite low. And then just wondering if we're gonna get the value for money in, you know, in this project. So I guess time will tell, and I wish them all the best in trying to restore that, so.
100%. And just to clarify, the 125 was for work on the total statue, so the
concrete or the
the granite piece as well,
Okay,
so
sorry, my apologies. So
both
I
of-
wonder, was the 189 bid then for thinking that whole entire project as well?
No, so there's an A and B to this, but
Yeah,
there
I
was
see the B.
two tender proposals
yeah,
for
okay.
separating that work, just because again, maybe Doug can speak on it, but when we looked at it, sometimes you will see different people specialize in different material restorations, so that's why we had split it out to try and get some
So
better.
essentially on this package though, we won't need to, the $25,000 funding partner will essentially cover the cost of this? Maybe I'll use it that way.
Essentially, yes, I think, I can't speak 100% to how the partner funding will be allocated, I think it is kind of for the full
For the full
statue,
project,
so
well, nonetheless, it's still 25,000, it's only 23, so
Yeah.
it even goes towards the whole package. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Chair, through you, can I just ask Doug Devane? Doug, Heritage Grade is out of Ottawa?
Yeah.
Are you, being from that area, are you familiar with some of the work? Have you any past experience with your own previous work?
Not with my work directly, I do know that, when we have tenders, we ask for examples of their previous work, and the work that was done on the bronze at the National War Memorial was done by the same company. So
Okay.
that's one of their examples, so I've seen that work before and after. As for their proposal, they did a great job with that bronze restoration. It's very highly specialized work on bronze statues, especially statues that are 100 years old. So we wanted to make sure that, of course, we agree that we wanna make sure it's done properly, but the prior examples of work they've done is very comparable, and I think they made a good case that they can deliver this work.
Yes, so this is the 100th anniversary of that statue,
2 days ago was the exact 100th anniversary of the
1925.
cenotaph, yeah.
And the last time Councillor Twill and I were on council, when we did the restoration, was back in 2002,
2004.
it was 2004? thought George was the, time, anyways, it was stripped right down to the bare ground. And we're doing that also, correct? It's bronze, the pedestal, everything is gonna be repointed, restructured, correct?
Yeah, so the bronze sculpture is gonna be essentially cleaned, removal of all the corrosion,
Yeah.
some other preventative measures, and repatinated.
Yeah.
So it'll look essentially as close as possible to its historical original look. It'll look very good. It does get kind of green over the years, so this will be a way to kind of not only remove that, but protect it in the future as well. That's the bronze component. The granite base, it's a question of just doing some repointing on the mortar joints with historically accurate materials, as well as kind of cleaning the stains on it as best as possible, and making sure that the damaged paving stones around the work is also redone. As Province House is actually scheduled to reopen this year, we're expecting, a higher elevated amount of foot traffic in that area, so we wanna make sure that those paving stones are safe and level, just because of the amount of people that are gonna be walking through. So it's good timing to do this work, and I'm sure it'll look very good.
So, Mr. Chair, just as Doug mentioned, the effort by Parks Canada is to open Province House before Remembrance Day. I think that's their goal, hopefully they can meet it. The other issue is that, as you said, with this restored War Memorial Monument, 100 years old, a couple of days ago, there's gonna be a lot of attention. And Mr. Chair, I know what we've done in past years, or last year, for the Remembrance Day, we did we did the street painting on the crosswalks. Like, this would be an opportunity about this whole tariff issue and all the conflict that is coming south of the border, to really up the ante on those three crosswalks, like large Canada symbols, red, white, and then come the Remembrance Day, we could add the 2 soldiers that we did at both ends of the 3 crosswalks. Like, there's gonna be a lot of focus on this area when this Province House opens. And what they're gonna see first on Great George Street, coming down Great George Street, is a restored War Memorial Monument, which is all about Canada. Those soldiers represent First World War, World War I. So there's a lot of history that can be brought to the surface, and we can add to that presentation. So I want to thank you, Doug, for following up on this, Albert. This is a great project. Anything that restores history is number 1 in my books.
All right, so
Thank
I'll
you.
move it.
Second.
I got a couple of questions. Doug, what's causing the corrosion?
Do you want me to answer? Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Chair. So the corrosion is a product of age on that particular material. So bronze statues tend to get green over time. Green roofs on the Parliament building, for example, tend to get green, and that's a process called oxidization. It tends to happen more quickly in the maritime provinces because of this kind of salt sea air. So that is something that can be kind of delayed by annual rewaxing and cleaning and proper maintenance, but it is something that will always happen over time. It's just a product of the nature of that material, and the best way to prevent oxidization and the corrosion that can come from that is to just do these kind of maintenance projects occasionally. So all monuments that are bronze will have that kind of greening color, but this is a way to kind of protect and
So there's really, if you look at that material, there's not much longevity to it, because we did a major work there in 2004, and that work's not all that old, and now we're back doing this, and it just surprises me that we're back. I mean, that was a lot of work was done back 2004. The statue was removed, it was taken. And
Take
now
it right
we're
down to the
back.
ground.
Now we're back, just a few years later. So is that the expectation from here on in? Maybe what's the time frame? What, 20 years? And then we're back to doing it again because of the corrosion.
I can answer that one too,
Yeah.
probably. So a big part of it, I think, is maintenance. So if you do, there's two types of waxing which you can do to bronze sculptures. One is hot waxing, which is the kind of work that we're doing on this major restoration.
Yeah.
But there's also wax that can be applied annually to ensure that the longevity is increased. So at the end of this process of the restoration, we'll get a kind of maintenance package that we'll be able to kind of follow to make sure that it lasts as long as possible. And I think the other side of it too is there is a Charlottetown War Memorial bylaw.
There is, that was created back in 2004.
Yeah, that has some details about how that maintenance is gonna be carried out. I think that I'm in a new position, it's a cultural policy or a cultural position that involves public art. So having a kind of a dedicated position to that's focused on public art will make sure that we can continue to maintain not just this piece, but all the pieces in our city. So maintenance work is kind of ongoing on several pieces, not at this scale, obviously, this is a special statue at an important moment in its history. So all efforts will be done once we have this maintenance plan to make sure that the statue lasts as long as possible. I would say that if we do that maintenance properly, there would be no expectation that we're here again in 21 years doing the same thing. It's just a question of that ongoing maintenance.
So it's safe to say over that 21-year period, we didn't do any maintenance.
There was annual cold waxing done, as far as I know. It's maybe just a question of what exact materials they use and everything, and we'll get kind of a pretty detailed maintenance package along with this, and we can review that if there's any adjustments that need to happen to the process.
My second question is, maybe you can help me with this, Jalbert, is when I look at the scoring, financial score, age of bronze was 0, and the other one, the high tender, 189,000 was 0. Explain that in terms of the financial score, and why two of those bidders received a 0 as opposed to any score period. Why were they shut out?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that basically comes down to how it was outlined in the tender package, and because we see such a discrepancy between the lowest bid price and the highest. So the way some of these tenders, when we outline them, works is the financial aspect is worth 15 out of 100 points, and the lowest bid automatically gets 15, and then everybody else is weighed based on how much percentage wise they are above that lowest bid. So because the other two bids were each pretty much over 100% more, they ended up getting a 0 on the financial aspect. So if we would have had say a fourth bid at like maybe 24,000, they probably would have got something like a 14 or a 13 out of 15 in that scoring. But just because we see that large discrepancy in price is why they get pushed to the 0. And this is something that we do in other tender packages as well, when we have this technical aspect of it, just because we are judging them on their technical and experience and how they will do the work, and then also on the price that they put forward. Is that
Okay. So we have a mover, we have a seconder, all in favor?
Mr. Chair, just under that War Memorial Monument bylaw, is to be a report submitted every year on June 30th and just in the maintenance of it. Just wonder if we can just keep that in mind, it's in the bylaw.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off, yeah, thank you.
Okay, all in favor of the motion? Motion carried. Item B. 72 commercial grade front mount lawn mower. When's that one?
Sorry. Yeah,
Did we just move package A and package B there?
no, I think that was just for package A. I think we should speak on the granite portion for,
Underneath that one, Chair, there's two reports, A and B. A was for the bronze restoration, and B would be for
Oh, I'm
the-
sorry.
we talked about it, I'll move,
I'll move.
there's one
moved.
bid, there's
Second.
one bid.
Yeah. Question? Questions called?
I'll let him drive the ship here.
Okay, so that's for the second tender, correct?
Yeah.
That's at 89,000?
That's
Correct.
There's only one, right?
For that one, yes, there was only one bid for the granite portion.
Is there a reason why there was only one tender?
Not that we know of. Again, I can let Doug speak on it. From my understanding is that we did have multiple vendors involved or kind of express interest in this whole project, the bronze and the granite. I can't speak on why others didn't bid on this specific portion, but it could have something to do with timelines or just the nature of the work or other ongoing priorities. Again, that would just be speculation on their private business matters, but I don't know if you wanna add anything to that, Doug?
I don't think I have anything to add. I would agree with that.
Can't do one without the other.
So,
You move?
Second?
All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, I guess we're on to item B now. 72 commercial grade front mount lawnmower.
Perfect, so for this one, July 2025, Public Works issued a public request for quotes for one 72-inch commercial grade front mount lawnmower for the Parks and Recreation Department. We did go and receive 2 submissions. One of the submissions was rejected as it did not meet all the specifications. But Public Works is recommending that the tender be awarded to Good Equipment as they did meet all the specifications. I can answer any questions if committee has.
2 bids, one was disqualified because it didn't meet the specifications. In terms of your ratings, who's involved with the ratings? Obviously yourself as the manager. Who else is involved?
For this specific tender
Or all your ratings, you know, when you sit down and do the grading, who's directly involved?
So again, it depends on the tender, so staff kind of take the initiative on creating the tenders, going through finance, having them approved. And then the grading is also dependent on the type of tender that goes out there. So for this one, it is just a request for quote because it is kind of a commercial product that we're buying that is different than, say, an engineering services or something where you would need a technical score to review the quality of the work that they can do. This is something that we can specify in the specifications where we're looking for something very specific and we either need it to meet criteria or not. So it's clearly outlined there. They have to ensure that they meet all those criteria in order for the bid to even be accepted. For this one in particular, our superintendent of fleet operations, Stephen McFadgen, did put it together, went out to tender, finance reviewed it when it came back. And then it was reviewed by myself and the director, and we saw no issues with the request for quotes or the acceptance. Again, this is another Parks and Recreation item that will be going to them, so they are also advised and their needs and considerations are taken into account when we're creating the tender and when it is awarded.
Chair, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So just for clarity, this is for Parks and Recreation. Does that then mean that all commercial assets belong to Public Works and therefore tender through Public Works and that asset belongs to that department but used by Parks for grass cutting? And then from a capital budget perspective, is it coming out of their capital budget or Public Works, or does it matter at the end of the day? I'm just curious as to why Public Works is doing all of this work on behalf of the Department of or Parks. Is there any rhyme or reason to that, or is that just asset where the asset lies at the end of the day?
I would have to look into that the question in more detail, but my understanding is that this is a Parks and Rec asset that gets used by their equipment. I think.
Cause they could have went to tender themselves and did, like, I guess is it because it goes through the procurement of Steve McFadgen, I think, who looks after more of like the fleet stuff, does he not? So I'm just curious as to, I'm sure you guys have enough to do and you're quite busy with all your work, let alone doing something from a parks perspective, so. Richard, you're here, maybe you could.
Oh, so he looks after the majority of our fleet, and this is very similar to purchasing trucks or fleet. This is a lawnmower. So as an efficiency, consistency, he looks after most of these
This is
tenders.
just a lawnmower component, this is a front mount lawnmower component, it's not a fleet item. Anyways, it's not a debate, I'm not trying to debate why one's doing the other, I'm more curious as to why all the effort is here on the public works side versus, and if it's because of procurement is easier through, the relationships that you already have with, cause I know grass cutting happens in both sides of this. There's some that happens in parks and some that happens in there, so if it's synergies, that's all right too, I'm fine, I'm just more curious if it's one of those things that's just the way it always is, and maybe that's not the way we should be doing it, if it's not an asset that belongs to Public Works. And
No silos, city corporation, everybody trying to work together.
Thank you, Richard, thank you, appreciate that
Kind of
comment.
suggest that it should be a silo
agree,
event,
Richard.
but anyways, it just be promoted here as doing it for public or parks, I'm just curious.
No. Point taken,
Not
something.
looking for anything other than just, just the rationale of why it's done that way, more than anything. So you can follow up at another time, it's fair.
Any other questions?
No, sir. I move it, was it moved?
I'll move it, yeah,
All in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
Okay. Item C, rectangular rapid flashing beacons. Who's got that one? Okay, go ahead.
Perfect, thank you. So in June 2025, Public Works went out for quotes for RRFBs, rectangular rapid flashing beacons, for 12 units, which is enough for 6 crosswalks. You kind of need 2 units per crosswalk. Tender closed July 14th, and the public opening, we had 5 bids. Based on the results of the opening process and the public tender, we recommend the contract to Sojourn Signs. Public Works Department has received products from Sojourn Signs in the past without issue and feel that they will provide a quality product.
Moved.
I have a question on that.
Second.
Question.
Second, okay.
Councilor McAleer had his hand up first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How's it going?
You?
Great. Just on there's half a dozen awarded, correct?
Dozen, 12.
Dozen, 12.
Yeah, have they been identified?
I believe that most of them have been identified of where they will go. I think we do, again, I can check with our traffic engineer after, but I think most of the locations have been identified in our previous studies. I know there's a few that
We don't have them today though, correct?
I don't have them for you today, no.
Okay,
I
thank you.
can follow up with that.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. So that was my exact question, but I wanna further to that, and, I think that we get into these discussions around, whether it be speed bumps, flashing signs. So these ones here, if I'm correct, these are the ones that you'll see at a crosswalk that are solar operated, and you press the button and they flash, correct? That's what these ones are. And then, of course, we have stop signs. So we always get into the, when we're requesting in our wards, I know I have requested for a couple, so I'm not sure if they're in this list, and I hope they are, but if they're not, when I think of, this expenditure, they're $30,000 for 12 of them. They're not that pricey. And, to me, I don't think, and we talk about we don't have enough of them, and they're probably warranted in a number of areas. So I guess I just wanna point out, now seeing that, that they're, if we need more, we should be looking to allocate budget for these, is what my point is. Because once we go back to your question about the list, I assume you're asking that question for a reason, you might have requested a couple yourself. So if I'm not successful, I'd be like, well, these are only $30,000 for 12 of them, why can't we get 24 of them? would be what I'd be putting forward as my response to that, so. Anyways, just something to think about in the future, Chair, about those if we need more.
Go ahead.
Perfect, no, point taken. I know that we've done some studies to determine areas that these can go as well. I will just make a note that the pricing for these is to purchase them and to have these units. There is also other operational costs that go into maintaining these, having extra inventory in stock, having staff time, electricians, other public works staff kind of maintain these, so it does get to the point too where we don't want to get to the point where we have these at every crosswalk, because then that kind of negates the fact that we have any at all. So it is something to consider, and I think from a public works perspective, we do have to look at what the operational cost is to maintain these and put them in and everything. But yeah, that's we do have a yearly budget for them. We can discuss it again come budget time to see where we're at and see after we purchase these and they come in and what it costs to put them up and maintain them. If we do have any extra funding, even for this year, we would try to spend that and try to see if we can get a few more. But yeah, in the future, we can
Yeah,
definitely
appreciate that, thank you, and I know they can't be in every crosswalk, I get that, but I think that there's a good case to be made where they can be implemented in certain areas, and I think there's probably more than 12 areas, is my point, across the city. But we'll let that play out and see where it comes. I mean, maybe not, maybe there's less than 12, I don't know, I'm just, I know I've a couple of requests in, so we'll see how that comes out. And then we'll look at future expenditures if we need them based on that cost. And I appreciate that there's additional operational costs associated with that need to be factored in as well, so thank you.
Go ahead.
So the chair to the chief engineer, I know our chief traffic engineer is not here, Riley, but I know when I was on council and Paul Johnson was the manager, we talked about putting up children's playing signs. And TAC, Transportation Association of Canada, they have guidelines. That's the guideline back then, and maybe still is. Children's playing signs usually go up around playgrounds, green spaces, schools, okay? So, Albert, are there any guidelines under TAC for rectangular rapid flashing beacons? And the reason I ask, we can start putting them up everywhere, but we have to look at what's the impact. And I can tell you there's an impact on Belvedere Avenue, the roundabout at Farmers Market. There are so many times people walk across there and cars just, I've been almost hit there twice on my bike crossing that intersection. So is that a dangerous intersection? To me it is, but TAC, maybe it's not. So what's the Rubik's Cube that they use? And maybe you don't know it right now, but is that part of the evaluation?
Yeah, 100%. So that is where I think as like our department will work to kind of establish those guidelines in a more clear way to council, again, without, just sending you to go look at TAC, because there's tons of
Just
information
guidelines.
there, but yeah, we can determine some guidelines on our end, because we appreciate the requests we get from council for certain crosswalks in certain areas, but that does take into account, we have to go out there and do this evaluation ourselves based on engineering principles, TAC guidelines, and other considerations that are there that we also have to implement and kind of make sure we're following them based on how the city of Charlottetown and our municipality differs, because those guidelines are for all of Canada, and different municipalities have different road dimensions, have different traffic impacts, have different, there is a full algorithm that takes into consideration making the decision to put some type of infrastructure like this in place, so that is what we would be using to determine that.
And Mr. Chair, to go back to what you've always been saying about a highway traffic division with the city police, do we have to be enforcing anyone that is breaking the laws, bylaws on someone that's crossing a sidewalk and then someone that doesn't stop? Like, it's, to me, it's, and another bad one is down at 1911 jail. Again, cross that one, it's blinking and people are just still going through. So there's also the enforcement part of it too. It's not just the signage. There's a responsibility on the part of the driver or drivers. They say, flashing lights means stop, let people go by. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Motion carried. Capital election summaries, we did that at our last meeting. I think we did, Yelver.
Yep, we did a last meeting, have been just a few updates to both. Council can, or committee can have a look at the capital projects update sheet and ask any questions if they wish. We are further along than we were 2 weeks ago on a lot of these projects. Operationally, same thing, we're still moving along. Some keynotes from last time are we do have some events that are taking place that staff have been involved with. Gold preparations for the Gold Cup Parade, the Pride Parade. We have Communities in Bloom that is happening, I believe, next 2 weeks, Joey?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now, that is taking up some resources as well, and then all of the other work that we do that's ongoing.
Okay,
Any questions?
thank you.
Can take some questions, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go ahead.
I brought this up before, and maybe I did, I'm just trying, I know it's not in the budget, but it was in our 23-24 budget. Spencer Drive extension. I just wanna find out, I know that we're looking at CHIF, Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund. There's an application there. Can you provide any update on that? But maybe not you, Mr. Chair, but maybe the director. And the other is the Metro Building Supplies there and the work they're doing off Strawberry Lane. This has been ongoing, as Mr. McEwen knows, for some time, just trying to get some information on that. It's, again, it should be part of, maybe it's, I can't bind it, but that Metro Building Supplies issue. So those are two. If I could just start, Mr. Chair, is that all right?
Perfect. I can let Richard speak on Spencer if there's any further updates. As far as I'm aware, we have had some more discussions with developers there and are still waiting to hear back from the funding aspect. Other than that, no real update, and same on the Metro. We are speaking to planning and have had some conversations, but I can't provide any updates on that at the moment either.
Okay,
Richard, I'm not sure if you wanna.
That's right, we're working with the developers on the engineering design to meet what they will be bringing forward with respect to their development. So there's been some recent changes on that and we're.
Spencer or Riverside Drive?
Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah, Spencer Drive's the right
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Working with the developers to understand what their infrastructure needs would be for that. It's challenging, many different developers coming together and working through that multi-developer development, and we have a funding application in.
Through CHIF?
It's a housing accelerator fund, it's, yes,
And Riverside Drive? You're working on that, that's,
yep, we're working, so they need to work through planning with that.
oh, it's a planning issue, okay, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So to your worship, can you enlighten me on what you're referring to with Strawberry Lane and Metro Building Supplies? Am I,
There's a stormwater management issue there, there's, if you look at that business, they're expanding off Riverside Drive. So with planning and with fire, there has to be a second exit, entrance, egress. This has been going on for the last, Richard, would it be year and a half?
Yes.
So it's been an ongoing issue.
they wanna connect on Strawberry Lane, is that
Well,
correct?
it's
I
again,
remember something along that line.
yeah, they're combining
When the
some
property-
properties, but they need they need an easement.
Yeah.
It has to go across, or across, it has to cross our right of way, which I think flows up onto Strawberry Lane.
Okay,
But it doesn't mean any more traffic, it just means,
No, yeah, well, that would, because Strawberry Lane's concerning as it is from the
Oh, I know it
construction,
is.
from the
I know it is.
construction, and I've worked with the former manager of Public Works regarding that particular laneway.
that's more for the gravel
And the
and
gravel and the traffic, the trucks
this has
that
nothing
comes
to
in.
do with
Okay.
that. That's separate from it. Am I correct to say that, Mr. Kewen?
Yes.
So more to come is what you're telling me?
Well, they need to put an application into planning.
It's a plan.
Okay, so I'll look forward in planning. Okay, thank you. I just didn't see anything on here, so that's why I
No,
was
but
wondering where you brought that
again,
up.
the reason I bring it up, it's something I've been dealing with
Yeah.
since the last manager. And so has the developers and the contractor, and it's a moving target.
Okay, I'll follow up through planning on that, thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor McAleer.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I'm just wondering, this may be an offside question or unfair or not on the agenda, whatever, but I'm just curious to ask if yourself, Albert, or as well, Richard, just with the Eastern Gateway kinda I'm gonna maybe say done, or and everything that went on down there's been some great work, and I'm just curious to understand what the feedback is, or traffic flowing, and is the vision kinda of how everything's worked out down there, does it seem to be kinda resonating with the public, any kind of feedback, as good, bad, or indifferent as to what's going on with that big dig?
Yeah, I can take that one. I'm not 100% sure on the public feedback. I can speak to having conversations a few months ago with the province and their traffic team, that they've done some post work analysis, and they do see a lot of benefit and good that's come out of the traffic issues that were caused there, because they did some work at that intersection as well, which is why we kind of tied into it. So I don't think we have a full report to give any numbers on how it's, is it, what percentage it's
Yeah.
better or anything like that, but from their perspective, things are working a lot better there,
The
and
express lane is a hit, or?
I think it's generally considered a success of what's happened there. And from our point of view too, I don't think we've seen any issues that have come out of it traffic wise, and only improvements. So I'm hoping, and we did discuss with the province, that when they gather a full report, and in conjunction with maybe some analysis on our end and our infrastructure on the back end too, that maybe we can share something from kind of both teams, and give people an idea of maybe a metric or an idea of the improvements that have happened there. But I think anybody that is traveling from Stratford or that area would say that things are working a lot better than they were before construction.
Yep, thank you.
So Mr. Chair, just on that, so where do we go from here with the rest of this project, in the sense of like the Eastern Gateway Master Plan and the next phases, whatever they look like? When you come down water and you have to turn kind of like to the left to go to Grafton, there's the old road that's still there, I guess, and maybe worked on.
Oh, the old
Like
Wa-
the
Wa-
old
Water
water
Street,
yeah,
Parkway?
cars, yeah,
Yeah, slip
it's
lane,
still
yeah.
there. Is the desire not to relocate all of the piping there as well for the oil and make waterfront? I thought there was a big vision for all of that area.
Well, Mr. Chair, was it not a couple of years ago that CADC was saying that, look, buy the land for $1 million, and we said yes, we put it in our budget. And then I think one of the partners at CADC, I think the majority partner said no. So we don't know where it is. It was brought up last week at the annual meeting for Charlottetown Area Development Corporation. Look, we're willing to work with the province, with the
But there was a
CADC.
greater vision for that area.
Oh, there is.
So
It's
where are
gonna
we
be a
at
beach,
with
wasn't
that?
it?
Yeah, beach
Yes,
and
where's the beach?
volleyball and everything. Where are we at with all this stuff?
Where's the beach?
Tell me.
What?
Tell me, it's CADC, they,
I thought we were doing the beach.
well, if we're gonna be doing it, we have to find out from the administrator of the property, which is the Charlottetown Area Development Corporation, what are the next steps? We don't own the land.
No, I realize that.
No,
The
but-
only
no,
land
but
that
I
we
thought-
own is the,
But I thought,
The new
you know,
road.
we spent, what was it, $8 million, $9 million to,
on that park,
no, not in the park, on the roadway.
14.2.
No, just a minute. One of the resolutions was for 8 million,
Yeah.
right? 8, now there's cost overruns, there's other work that needs to be done. And that whole premise behind that was supposed to be a beach. So where's the beach?
Again, at the annual meeting for the Charlottetown Area Development Corporation that took place last week. It's being headed up by the Charlottetown Area Development Corporation.
So they're heading up the beach.
Well, we're a minority shareholder, we're 15%.
I thought we were-
82% is owned by the province.
So it wasn't us that was spearheading the beach.
We are part of it, but we're waiting to get more direction from the board. CADC,
Well, I
We
thought
wanna-
I
we wanna
thought
be
we were
part of it.
leading it.
you can't believe it if we don't own the land.
That wasn't made clear to me. I thought we were spearheading that.
And my question is just solely around where are we going? You know, what's the next phases, steps, and you're clearly indicating that there isn't a plan in place right at the moment. That
There is a plan, it's called the Eastern Gateway Master
Yes,
Plan.
that way, yes.
That is there.
All
Now,
those
how do we
actionable
implement
items.
that is, on that part of the property, is up to CADC.
So I consider what was done like phase one, right? The rerouting of the Water
Right.
Street, doing all that work, and now where do we go from there? Cause it seems like partial work is still to be done
Yet to
there,
be done.
right?
Fully agree. And I can tell you, speaking to some of the business owners on Grafton Street East, it's been a game changer. They've seen business improve dramatically, flow of traffic. I know myself. I go over to Stratford sometimes, see what's going on, and come back. Traffic is going freely both ways.
Maybe you could stay over there.
Can't.
I'll move that.
I can't.
Not Katie second.
I can't, I'm a resident of
Kenny.
Charlottetown.
I'm just teasing.
Motion carried.
But
There's something I couldn't pass on.
But on that, on the roadway, on the two packages that we did for the resurfacing, package A, package B, how are we getting along with the paving? I know that it's been progressing quite well. Any update? Can I just ask that, Mr. Chair?
sure.
Are you talking about the resurfacing package?
Yeah, and
A
I, both A and B. Because it amounts to $3.8 million of a $5.1 million budget, so, you know, and I did hear some comments, maybe you did too, that this, doing the paving at night, it was a report on CBC TV, and I've been getting calls, I don't know if you have, Mr. Chair, but that is a great approach in paving. Others have not agreed with it,
University Avenue.
especially University Avenue and other places too. So I'm just trying to get an update.
Is that a practice that's happening? Are we paving at night? I didn't
It's not the
know.
policy of the
No,
city.
it was a pilot that was tried this year,
Okay.
correct? Or can you answer that?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, yeah, I can touch base on this, on both ends, so, yeah, we are making progress on both package A and B. We have some numbers here, again, this report, says package A is about 30%, package B at 15. I think both of those numbers are a little bit higher by today, because work is being done continuously. I would say we're close to, if not past 50% on some of these. Again, a lot of this is comes down to we have our internal departments that have to go in and do some work before the contractor can go in there, so that's still ongoing. As far as University Avenue and nighttime work, that first section, we were approached by the contractor. They requested that they do that at night, and we looked at it and determined that it was a good idea and tried it out, and I think it was a success. Again, the nighttime work for paving or any construction is going to be kind of a special case-by-case determination, because we don't wanna be doing nighttime work on a residential street. This part of University Avenue was pretty particular, didn't impact anyone there. No single family homes, no residences along that section that would be impacted by noise and any other considerations. City bylaw did sign off on that as well. We had safety and HR and everybody look at it, had traffic plans in place, so again, this is something we kind of were approached by the contractor, thought it was a good idea, reviewed it, it was a success. I don't think it's something that the city will be pushing on future contractors to do unless it's a case by case basis, because you get into other considerations like budgeting and noise complaints and lots of other issues, so
Mr. Chair, I just want to say, it's interesting how impactful paving resurfacing is for residents. Like when a street is done, it really says a lot, and it's I know the residents of my area are very appreciative of it. It's it really feels like they're getting something out of that, especially if they have a road that was in bad shape and it's been repaired. So I always get a lot of positive feedback when the city comes in and does paving, whether it's even patching large areas or the streets. So I just want to say thank you. It's to Joey and your team. It certainly makes an impact to the residents.
Mr. Chair.
Is the pothole crew still work too?
We're still going, yes.
Two crews, is there? Two, Joe?
3.
Mr. Chair, could I just follow up on that we have 5.1 million in the budget? So 1.9 is 3.8. So, I that's why I keep asking the progression. So is there a possibility of a package C? Because just as Councilor Matard stated, there is a positive feedback when a street or a new sidewalk, like when I drive down Douglas or Bayfield, there's more work going on there. Don't know how you guys keep up to it, but it's being done, which is good because, the neighbors. The contractor in on University Avenue, is that package B, Birch Hill?
correct.
Okay, well, the work they did there, I didn't know it was done until I drove up. As you said, it was done at night, so.
Did you drive up the electrical vehicle?
I did.
10:30 at night?
Smooth drive.
I was asking Joey McKinnon 2 years ago for policy on who can drive that vehicle.
Well, you have to
And
have,
he's still, where's the policy, Mr. McKinnon?
Any city employee.
What?
you have to have a license.
It's for the entire city staff.
Just for staff.
What about the bicycle?
What?
Should ask about the bicycle.
So if I could ask through the chair,
Good question, John. Yeah, Joey, can you come back with a policy?
through the chair,
Electrical vehicles and the bike.
are we looking at it, is there being consideration put in package C?
Yes, we're definitely looking at that. Again, we do have some funds left over. Our staff has been looking at, we obviously wanna spend that full amount of money, and we will hopefully be coming at maybe in a month or so, once we're a little bit further progressed on these two packages with consideration for spending what's left of the allocated budget for this year. And then again, like has been done in the past, if council and committee would like to increase that budget for a larger package C, that is up to the committee and council. I just wanna make note that on top of this work, that $5.1 million, just take into account some other work like asphalt testing and line painting and other items that do eat into that. So when we come back, we will let council know what amount of the remainder is actually there and have a rough estimate of what how many kilometers of road can kind of be done with what's there, and then also maybe how many streets or so. My initial understanding from what we've looked at is that we could potentially do maybe 1 to 2 more kilometers of roadway with the budget that we have left, but again, those are just some ballpark numbers, and once we have a better idea of which roads, which streets are next and what we can do, we'll come back and share that.
Fully supported there, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Under new business.
Just, Mr. Chair, I know we've had this discussion before, about getting more speed humps. I know you've received calls, I've received calls about the Spring Park area. And I think even the Premier got involved because he's the representative of District 13, some streets in that area. And I don't know Albert or Joey if I forwarded them on to, but I'd like to get an evaluation done on what are we gonna do? We're gonna purchase more speed humps, or are we maxed out? And if I could just add, Mr. Chair, I know Kenny Murnion is here from the Injury-Free PEI Association, but his issue is about more signage regarding wearing helmets, using images, and not so much wording. I think that's something I just want to put on your table. And I
I
did,
think Public Works is looking into that.
yeah, I'm just
I know,
Just forward that, sir.
But I mean, Brad McConnell's directly involved with that,
good.
with Public Works, isn't that right, Kenny?
Yeah.
He was working with you, so Public Works is working with our CAO, and they're working on that.
Yeah, and then the other issue, and I did bring this up with our chief traffic engineer. The system that we're using down at the corner of Euston, Pownell and Spring Park Road, differential signalization. It works very well. I did mention to our chief traffic engineer is at that corner of St. Peter's Road, Allen Street and Beasley. That left turn, there's no left turn going on to going north or going east on St. Peter's Road. And I know it's in your area, both your areas. But I think we have to look at that differential signalization for that area because there's more opportunities, or well, I shouldn't say opportunities. Accidents are always just inches away.
Do you mean turning left when you're going
So
to
when
Beasley?
you're heading south on Allen Street to cross to Beasley, you take a
Turn
left
left,
to go east. That always holds up traffic,
It's a very tricky corner.
very tricky. And in terms of providing a left turn off Beasley to go west on St. Peter's Road, I don't think it's required as much as the going east. Do you follow what I'm saying? No need to answer any of these, I just wanna put those on your, because I get calls and I've been out at that intersection. Don't go out there at 4 o'clock if someone wants to turn east onto, turn east onto St. Peter's Road off Allen. It just hold up. And the chair knows, Allen, Beasley, Allen, right up to Kirkwood Drive, that's one of the east-west streets in Charlottetown, so a lot of people take that to go from the bridge over to the other side of the city. I know you've brought it up before too, Mr. Chair, but it has to be
Maybe
dealt
need a
with.
roundabout there.
Well, there wouldn't be enough land, there wouldn't be enough property. At that intersection?
We could take into the Murphy's Corner there.
Oh, no,
Okay, move for adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, thank you very much, appreciate it. All right, we're going, right?